in honor of Rob Parker and in honor of baseball, which deserves this, let's talk about the MLB. Last night, great All-Star game.
Yeah. Not a lot of home runs. It wasn't ridiculous.
But it was a competitive game. It had you on the edge of your seat until the end, right? I was really hoping the National League was going to tie it up in the ninth
and then
send it into extra innings.
But they've used so many players, it would have been one of those situations where guys would have had to play because I think they went through so many guys.
Yeah.
But still, just about everybody got it. And it was good.
And then, of course, Monday night was obviously a tremendous home run derby. And you were there, Rob, so you know this well. All-star starter Justin Verlander. He talked, who
I covered in Detroit from day one when he came to the big league, so I know JV.
Very outspoken, doesn't hold his tongue. And he didn't hold his tongue down there in Cleveland. And he said, look, the balls are juiced, period. And the next day obviously caused quite an uproar. And the
language that he used, too, was.
Yeah, it was a little racy.
Racy. You know what I mean? You can make your point. Remember, he was announced as a starter for the All-Star game for the American League.
Right.
And you get up in front of everybody and you do that. What do you think the league's going to do? They're going to talk to you.
Well, who talked to him from the reports were Jim Leland,
his former manager in Detroit,
and Joe Torre.
Who's like the disciplinarian, right guy.
And they, according to Verlander, they chewed him out and said, do your research. You don't know what you're talking about. Now, Rob, here's the thing with me. I don't have a problem with the balls being juiced. I don't have a problem with 6,600 home runs being hit this season. I certainly don't have a problem with a few guys hitting 30 home runs by the All-Star break. My problem with baseball right now is the lack of the other things. Too many strikeouts, not enough singles, not enough stolen bases, not enough small ball. If I could have that with the home runs, this is great. We all love the long ball.
What was the old saying? Chicks love the long ball. Everybody loves the long ball.
Dudes love the long ball too.
Absolutely.
Because chicks love it. Right?
No doubt.
But no, I like it just because it's a home run.
Nice.
So what do you, I don't think it's a problem, but did you have a problem with what Verlander said?
Only from this standpoint, and I did write a column about it today.
Okay.
TheShadowLeague.com. And it was about that, Verlander's comments, and how last night, I know everybody thought because of the home run derby, and we saw Vlad Guerrero Jr. hit 91, Chris. Think about that. The energy.
Okay, was that in you? Because I loved it.
No.
I think it was the best of both worlds.
It was, but I'm saying.
Was that a juiced ball? Is that the result of juiced balls?
That's the same ball that you've been using all year. That ball wasn't different.
No, not all year compared to past home run derbies. Past years.
He shattered the record, but other guys have had big nights.
Nothing close. He
not
shattered
91,
the record.
Right? By like 30, I think.
By 30.
Yeah.
And even if you take out the bonus round, he would have shattered it by 20.
Right. He still would have had 20 more.
Doesn't that lend evidence that the ball is juiced? It's a 20-year-old kid.
Yeah, but I'm not doubting that the ball's different.
So it is.
So that's not the issue. My issue with Verlander is this. Yes, I get it, JV. You're not off your rocker. You're not, maybe the tack you took wasn't right. So to talk about the ball, but let me ask you, you're okay when your team hits home runs for you and helps you win games, or are you good with that? Like this whole notion that it's just an advantage for the hitter doesn't make sense to me, and I get all the home runs. We're also on an all-time pace for strikeouts. So pitchers have been. I'm just saying pitchers
have not benefited from a juice ball.
No, but pitchers are also because of the
dudes are swinging for the fences.
Okay, but I'm just saying. So it's not like you're not. It's one-sided totally. And here's the other part. No, it's not.
How's it not one-sided?
It's not. I saw last night with the same juice ball. There were 2 home runs hit in the 9-inning game.
That's one game.
No,
Rob. You can't make a statement. We've seen a full 3 months of this. And you're going to take one game and say it's not true?
I'll give you this. During the steroid era where everybody had the problem with, you got 4 or 5 of the greatest pitchers who ever pitched in the game who pitched during that era. So my point is, it didn't just affect pitchers. Oh my God, it's not fair. These guys are on
juice.
juice.
That's the steroid. That's different.
No,
but
I'm trying to say that when you talk
a juice ball, it'd be like a dead bat. If the bats were dead, that would impact hitters, not pitchers.
But I'm saying the best of the best. Go look at Verlander. Go look at last night we saw Chapman in the ninth inning strike out the big home run hitters because
it doesn't mean you're not gonna have great pitching anymore.
But I'm not against the home runs. I'm not, and I get it. I'm saying I agree that the balls are different. All I'm saying is ultimately everybody's swinging with against the same balls, so there's no advantage. The Astros are hitting too, is what I'm saying.
I'll give you that.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
I'll give you that.
Everybody's using
team,
them, right?
It doesn't give any one team.
That's all I'm
saying.
That's so I don't get.
I give you that. However,
Verlander's not going to sit up there and go when one of his teammates hits 3 home runs in a game. That ball's juice. We shouldn't be using that ball. You'll never hear that. That's the press conference I want to be at.
But it is a disadvantage for pitchers. It's not a disadvantage for any particular team. It's a disadvantage for pitchers.
I'm still telling you that the best of the best the guys who are good, they don't have the issue like everybody else. They're not
Verlander is very good.
Oh, well, but I'm saying I could go through there's other guys who have pitched if you're of that caliber. I'm not saying that the ball's not juiced and some guys are getting more home runs than they should be, Chris. I agree with Verlander from that standpoint. But the bellyache about it like it's the end of the world or it's going to change which teams. Tell me which teams are leading their divisions at the halfway point who wouldn't be there with a juice ball. Because I'll wait. Because the Houston Astros are good. The Dodgers have been good. The Yankees are good. I could go through all the teams. And I'm just saying, I don't see where the difference is when it comes to the standings.
I agree with you there. They're all playing with the same juice ball, but I think Verlander, and there's nothing wrong with this, is looking at it as an individual, as my position. It's just like a post player. If there's a post player, DeMarcus Cousins, say, in the NBA, and he's lamenting the lack of post play. Now, you would be right and say, well, nobody has post play anymore. But he's saying it, me as an individual, 4 years ago, I was the man, right? I was impacting games because there was post play. Now I'm a dinosaur. So I think Verlander, he's given up he's on pace to give up a record number of home runs individually. So he doesn't want, as much as he wants his team to win and all that, he also doesn't want to have his ERA skyrocket. And so that's where I think Verlander, I don't think you're right with teams. I mean, they're all playing under the same rules with the same equipment. So I agree with you there, but I get where Verlander's coming from. It'd be like if there were dead bats. Every team would be playing with dead bats.
Right, well, everybody's playing with the
hitter,
same.
If I was a hitter and home runs have all of a sudden gone way down, batting averages way down, then I could understand the guy being upset.
I just think, I get it as with all the home runs, but we heard the same stuff during the steroid era, and the pitcher who finished with the greatest WAR and the greatest ERA in the history of baseball pitched during the steroid era. So somehow,
well, he might have been.
And I'm talking about Mariano Rivera, but I'm just talking about.
Well, I'm just saying, he was a closer too.
But I'm just saying, but the bat missed those. The ball missed those bats. Is what I'm saying.
Let him pitch 3 innings and see if it's missing.
All right, but I'm just saying.
I know.
But you know what I'm saying? Like so. If you told me that all the pitchers stunk during that time and they couldn't get guys out, then I would buy into it like, wow, it's such an advantage. I'm not so sure it is if everybody's using it.
It's not an advantage for any particular team.
Right.
But it's definitely an advantage for the hitters. That's the thing. And that's all Verlander's saying. And I'm fine with him saying it. And like I said, I love the home runs. I would love for somebody to break Barry Bonds' record just for the excitement of it. You know, but I just want to see some of the other stuff as well. What did you think quickly of Alex Bregman saying batting average doesn't matter anymore?
Well, that's the analytical people. I mean, that's what I disagree. I still always thought guys who could bat 300, I think that number matters. They look at everything else. RBIs, walk, on-base percentage. This is the new school. He's a young guy. He believes in that.
And he was one of the few, like most players were still saying They want to hit 300, 340, whatever.
That's to me.
And maybe he's saying that because he's only hitting 265,
And and it's just easier to justify that.
Right.
That well, you don't have to hit that, and you can make the All-Star team.
Right.
Guys who hit 265 in the old days didn't make the All-Star team. They just didn't. And when you go back, I always say this: Hank Aaron played 23 seasons.
Right.
Lifetime batting average. You ready, Chris? For as a slugger, 305 lifetime. Knocked in 2,300 runs, which averages out to 100 runs, which is incredible because the beginning of your career, you're not knocking in 100.
Right.
And the end, you're not. So you got to amass a lot to be able to average 100 RBIs.
Right.
And if you take away his 755 home runs, he still had 3,000 hits.
Right.
That's how he was a complete hitter.
Well,
he did everything.
And I also think there are some basic stats that you don't want to get rid of. In basketball, I'm sorry. I don't care what the analytics say. I'm going to pay attention to points, rebounds, and assists per game. And in baseball, I'm going to pay attention to batting average, home runs, RBI. And don't give me this war, this whip. I mean, I can get it. I can look at those things.
But don't act like it doesn't matter at all.
And that affects the casual fan, too. Because the casual fans want the basic stats.
Right. I want to see when the guy gets up, I want to see how many RBIs he has. I do. I want to see how many home runs and what he's batting. I do. And I get it. They put other stuff up. But to say, I remember when they were trying to talk Miguel Cabrera out of getting the Triple Crown. They were like, oh, anybody can knock runs in. No, they were putting an emphasis on runs scored. How do you get in? Right. Somebody knocks you in. You don't knock yourself in. Right. So I don't understand how you could take and say scoring runs is more important, but the guy who knocks in runs.
It's not belittling runs scored. Right. All right, we're going to let you weigh in. Do you believe the baseballs are juiced? Remember, Rob Manfred talked about the pill. It's centered better than ever.
And here's
better than ever.
And the other part
balls are flares, less drag.
Baseball owns Rawlings now.
Right.
So
that's what Verlander was talking about.
Right. This is the little problem is that, well, you own the ball company and you could tell them how to make it now. And
all right. So are they juiced? 877-99 on Fox. And if so, is that good or bad for MLB? Let's start with Mike in New Jersey. Mike, welcome to the Odd Couple.
Thanks for having me, boys.
What's happening?
Not much. So the juice baseball doesn't really bother me all that much. What concerns me is that every hitter 1 through 9 is now swinging for the fences, and it's eliminated so much of the other excitement out of the game.
Right.
See, I'm with you, Mike. I agree, and that's where the issue is. And the other one, Mike, is that baseball really simply congests. You want to get guys on base and have more action. The new shift, you can shift all the way on the right or left, whatever you want to do, but only 2 players could be on either side of the bag.
I agree.
Not 3, not 4, where you put all these guys over there, and then the left-handed hitter comes up and he hits a ball in right field, but there's the third baseman's playing short right field like it's softball and he gets thrown out.
I totally
That's
agree.
what I don't want to see anymore. Stop with the crazy shifts.
That's like picnic baseball.
That is. That's what you do.
And it makes the batters look bad because we understand how difficult it is to place a ball.
Right.
But the average fan might look at it, why don't you just hit it here?
Because it doesn't go like that. Right.
And so it makes them look worse than they really are.
And then those are all the hits on wise guys' averages on 300. Those used to be
big part of it.
Those used to be hits for them.
Right. Rich in Greenville, you're on with Chris and Rob.
Hey guys, how's it going?
What's happening?
Not much. First thing, here's my take on the juice ball. It's definitely juiced. The hitters, the offense is up. The hitters have more of an advantage because of it. But here's the thing. I don't blame Verlander for being upset with it. But the great pitchers are going to be great anyway. The bad pitchers are going to be bad anyway. Yeah, your ERA may be half a run higher, but the cream is still going to rise to the top. More offense is good for the game. It makes young people want to watch. Just keeps it livelier, and I think it's good for the game. That's the bottom line.
Rich, I agree, and I don't have an issue with the home runs as long as it's for everybody. That's my point. That's the Verlander point that I don't understand because I'm talking about Houston.
He's talking about in a team,
No, but I'm sure he's happy that his teammates are hitting home runs.
I mean, look, his ERA right now is 2.98. 2 years ago in 2017, it was 3.36.
It's
So,
lower.
Right.
All right, Richard in Maryland. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Richard?
Hey, Chris and Rob, thanks for taking my call tonight.
No problem.
I'm an old guy. I don't mind whether the ball is juiced. It doesn't bother me as long as the players aren't juiced. The most upsetting thing to me was the steroid era because I think it just made a mockery of the game. But if the ball's a little juiced, I mean, they've raised and lowered the mound over the years. They've changed some of the rules to be, promote more offense.
See,
And really,
Richard, I'm glad you brought that up, and keep Richard on. I'm glad you brought that up because, in the day of Bob Gibson and Don Drysdale and Denny McClain, go back and look how dominant those guys were. And you remember this, Richard. How old are you?
at 65, man.
Okay,
I remember Blue.
So you
I remember Vida Blue. I remember Bob Gibson. I remember all those guys.
But you remember there was one year, Chris, when only Carl Yastrzemski hit over 300, the only guy in the American League.
You don't want that.
You don't want that, but that was because the mound, and they finally lowered the mound to make it fair.
Richard, let me ask you this. Now, you said you don't mind the home runs. I don't either. I love it. But would it bother you if the guys just started obliterating the record book? Like somebody, maybe you got two guys that break Bond's record this year, and then next year there's, four that hit 73 or 74. Would that start to bother you?
Well, I remember when I liked Barry Bonds before he juiced up. He was a great athlete, and so his whole thing is kind of sad to me. But it would bother me, but only you have to judge everything in the context in which it's played. You know what I mean? I can't compare current pitchers to what Walter Johnson did, and I think to try to do that is folly. You just have to compare the players to the players that are on the field that are opposing them at the time. So, the historical records, that's for people to sit and talk about. But I go to the game to watch the game, and I want the game to have integrity.
All right, okay? Richard, great call.